Yo, what's going on, you goddamn weebs? And today, I am starting a new series that I've been wanting to start for the longest time, and it is called Relearn Japanese. Who is this series for? It's for somebody who has studied Japanese in the past and you kind of gave up, or like you just stopped using it for some reason because A, you're not in Japan, you don't use Japanese out of Japan, or B, you work as an English teacher like me and you never had to use the goddamn thing other than to order McDonald's or say like, oh, mako onegaishimasu. That's all you got to do in your daily life. So what I wanted to do is kind of start this series off the cuff, finally get this thing started with the minimal amount of work, because I'm not super pro, gonna be making super great graphics and stuff like that. Now we're doing this live off the cuff, literally live off the cuff. Look, literally live off the cuff, okay? None of this is edited. So we're gonna making this content and relearning Japanese, and hopefully with the goal of being good at Japanese again to get the N2 level. So the N2 level is part of the JLPT, which is like 5 stages of Japanese fluency, which doesn't actually test your speaking at all. And we're gonna be trying to get the N2 so I can actually get a real job. Okay, so to start this series off, I wanted to start off basically not by reading or learning Japanese right now, but I wanted to go over the tools that we will need to kind of relearn and rebuff our Japanese back up to shape. And hopefully the series also caters to the youngins, on those who are just starting the language from zero. So I want to try and be as basic as possible and just have a little review section and kind of rediscover things rather than just teaching it normally and just being like, okay, this is this. It's more like I'm reading it again. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that's how it was. That's how it was, and trying to reach back with an intermediate perspective. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this isn't for beginners. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. This will be a fun thing to do. But I need to start making some progress in my life. So here we go. So the first tool that I'm going to introduce to you is actually free. And here we go. This is called Take Him's Guide to Japanese. It is a free, free grammar book. And honestly, it's the best grammar book you can possibly use because it talks about Japanese in a way from a Japanese person's perspective. So it really helps you understand how Japanese people think, why they would think certain things. If you look at like verbs, like, oh, why would they use a certain verb? Or why would they say this one instead of saying this kind of word? And over the years, he's kind of developed it more, and it's been better, and it's absolutely free. And if I were to go through this and just kind of relearn it from the bottom up, I think it'll be a great thing for everyone to kind of learn and relearn Japanese with me on this channel. You have hiragana, katakana, stuff like that, and we'll kind of just go through the entire book. If we end up still having motivation, this will probably be the only way for me to motivate myself to actually study this thing. Okay, so it's great because we have like hiragana, katakana, we have kanji, the way they write, basic numbers. He goes through adjectives and nouns, and there's also verbs and negative form, polite forms, and they're just really casual explanations. They're not very like whatchamacallit, like formal and textbooky. They're just like, it's just the dude talking. In order to effectively describe when we want to do certain things, make plans, we need to know how to describe time. Similar to the age counter we learned in the very first chapter, we need to simply use the counters for hours and minutes. Once again, there are numbers of reading variation. Be very careful attention to. These readings are listed below. So it's a really, really good book, and it really, really got me back into studying Japanese when I lived in Saitama, and I was like an ALT, and I was like really trying to learn Japanese again. And it was amazing. This book was amazing. It actually has a hardcover. It's about $20 on Amazon. So if you prefer hardcovers, then yes, my book is full of highlights. So we're going to be going through this as we go through. All right, the second tool that I would like to introduce to you is called Boom Pro. And Boom Pro is a tool that you can use to review grammar. And there are different paths you can take, which includes Take Him's Grammar Guide. So you can also study the Genki 2, you could study Mina no Nihongo 1, you could study Tobira, and Take Him's Grammar Guide. So I think it would be great for us to study Take Him's Grammar Guide along with everything else. So basically, if you wanted to, he basically has the site basically has his guide here and also the other ones and puts all the verbs together and grammars together that you can review them. So if I were to go to wa, for example, you can basically just review it here. Okay, that's the definition. Denotes the some topics. Okay, blah blah. There's lots of examples for you to do. There's also a lot of audio as well, so you can do that. And you can study it that way. So then you can do the readings if you want to do additional readings, but who's doing that, bro? And you can self-study and add your own things. But the cool thing is what you can do is you can actually review it. Let me just see here if I can actually do this thing here. Should be able to actually review the thing. But anyway, you'll be able to review it and actually be tested. So if I were to go to one of these, and this is a completely different level, guys, completely different level. But let's see. Oh, 山の頂上が何々見えてこない. The mountaintop is not easily seen. So then you can just type in here. I'm going to write naka naka. I think it's naka naka. Oh, and I got it right. So yeah, so he's naka naka, and then you can just kind of review it like that. And then basically it's an SRS. So it will repeat itself over time, so you have to keep doing it over and over because repetition is the name of the game, boys and girls. If you study it once, it's gone. If you study it 3 times, you have it 3 times. Okay, so let's talk about the second tool without making this video too long because I actually have to go to work in like 30 minutes. Okay, so here we go. The next one is Wanikani. So Wanikani is a kanji application website thing which you can use to memorize kanji. Kanji is the the third writing system of Japanese, which is like the Chinese characters that you guys see on like Gaara's forehead in anime and Kimetsu no Yaiba fucking on the back of his Kamayo back thing, Kamado, whatever, on whatever Tanjiro. And it's the Chinese letters, okay? It's the Chinese letters. And those have multiple meanings, they have multiple readings, so it gets a little hard. But basically what you can do is use Wanikani, which uses mnemonics to pull from your consciousness and experience to help you remember something. So you basically create a story in your head to learn the kanji. So a great way to introduce this. So if I go to kanji and I go to level 1, okay, and we just let's look at above here. This is the first kanji they teach you. So above, okay, so we have the information here. Okay, so it looks like that. You don't have to learn to write. They don't teach you how to write it because in real life, you don't have to write kanji unless you're filling out a form. So it's combined with 2 radicals. Well, this is called a toe. It's not really a toe in real life. They don't really call it a toe, but who cares? It doesn't matter either. So you have the toe and the ground. You put it together, and they're read as jo. And then you have kunyomi, which is the Japanese reading because we are Japanese. You don't do the Chinese reading. Because there's 2 readings in kanji. There's the Chinese reading when you put 2 kanjis together in most words. It's a compound word. And you can put them together and they'll both have a reading. It's called a jukugo. And that's a compound word. And then you have the kunyomi, which is the Japanese way. Which is you only use the exclusive Japanese reading that the Japanese people made because they didn't want to sound Chinese in the past. So, yeah, so we have the kunyomis, and sometimes they're combined too, but we'll get into that. And then we also have nanori, which is like when it's made for names. Like, you're not going to enjoy that. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have, it's called the mnemonic. So we have here, you find a toe on the ground. It's weird because it's above the ground, not where toes belong. What? Insane. I would never. What? That's so weird. That's so weird. I don't want to. That's weird. That's weird. But guess what? Now you remembered it. You remember that kanji. Because it looks like a toe coming out of the ground. And that's weird. Now it doesn't look like a squiggly line to you anymore. It just looks like a toe out of the ground. And that's going to help you remember it, the crazy story. So that helps you remember the meaning, okay? But then you could also remember the reading, and god damn, this app has saved my life, especially when you get to like the super hard kanjis, because it's just like, oh, it's actually just so many different parts of one thing, and you just put all the stories together and it becomes this big thing. And it sounds hard and it starts slow, but goddamn, I've used this app for 4 years. And it's honestly, I still remember like almost all the kanji. Okay, so the reading. Okay, so we have, of course, when you find a toe above the ground, you want to know where the toe came from. When you examine it, you see a name written on there. This toe belongs to the local clumsy farmhand, Jorm. You know a Joe? You know a Jorm? Okay, if that's hard for you to remember, they actually have a hint. So you can be like, try to remember Jorm, the local farmhand. He is a recurring character that will come back anytime for the readings Joe. He's a very big man. He wears big farmer's clothes. It's important to imagine the decision of Jorm as very big because it would help you differentiate from Joanne, who's a character associated with a similar but shorter reading for a character called Joe. Although Jorm will develop as you go through all the Joe reading kanji, for now, imagine him being as a big, kind of slow dude who works as a local farmer, and he only has 9 or fewer toes, apparently. So, what a crazy and wacky way to remember kanji. And honestly, this is called the Heisei method, and that's from remembering the kanji, which is basically the same thing, but WaniKani is an SRS system, so repetition, 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 and honestly, it's probably the best app that I would highly recommend. And honestly, the mnemonics and the repetition and the way you remember things also bleeds into the other grammar and vocabulary study methods. So the cool thing about WaniKani is that you actually learn vocabulary as well as kanji. So I haven't done my fucking lessons in almost half a year, which is why we're starting this series in the first place. So I'll show you how it goes. Basically, you would start the session and open up this cute little animation. And oh my god, I'm pretty sure this means ko. Oh, I got it. I got it. This is oh my god, it's been so long. This is why we're starting the series again, guys. I know it means lifespan or like 77th birthday or something. I forgot how to say it. I was gonna write ko. The readings are the onyomi. You've seen the onyomi before for this. I forgot. And told me how to remember. You might remember the 77th birthday. All you want is a key to the city, so you can do whatever you want. Oh, it's kiju. Oh, and then it's random. Okay, so it's random. So like you can't just memorize it by stacks and be like this. Honestly, I do that though because it's so much faster because I literally have 1,690 reviews to do. But anyway, because I don't understand this, we're going to move on to the last tool, which I highly recommend you study for any Japanese level. This app is called I Know. I know. Shut up, Kenta. But basically, this one is a vocabulary app. It's more of like an all-in-one app, but it's honestly the best app. Honestly, I've used so many different applications for Japanese. Yes, I used Memrise. And honestly, this app is the best, most professionally done, and just so good. The only problem it has is that it's not free and it can be expensive, but it is worth every single penny. I bought lifetime for this thing before it actually went away because they don't offer lifetime anymore because 10% tax in Abe's 10% tax in Japan has made it too expensive to maintain it. So you don't have lifetime anymore. But you can buy like a year and it's like $100. But honestly, I know it sounds expensive, but you gotta invest, guys. You gotta invest. You can buy like 20 textbooks for like $150 and then you'll put them on your shelf. You're not gonna put them on the shelf, you're not gonna read them. You know you're not gonna read it. So invest in something you're actually going to use because you can use it on your phone, right? You can use it on the phone. All these apps you can use on your phone, by the way. So, look. We're going to go to Japanese Core 5000 because this is what I'm doing. I have to study all because it's going to study all the courses I've been studying. So, I just want to show you the functionality. And they have a little streak thing here, too. If you ever wanted to, if you're all about streaks, even though it means nothing. But anyway, so you can see all the times I've actually studied 171 hours, 167 of the I Know application, and the sentence trainer I've done for 4 hours because it's ass. And then all the words I'm supposed to know, and I'm pretty sure I forgot most of them because I haven't studied in so long. So why don't we go ahead and show you what this is all about. So I Know, the best app in the industry. I Know is basically the flagship app. So let's go ahead and show you that. And it shows you the SRS here. So studying timing and ready, not ready, and mastered. So how well I know these words. And I got some words here that I don't know apparently, using the algorithm. We are also going to go to the words that we started only. So I'm not trying to learn new words. And then we got the courses, all of them, or the ones you want to do in progress. Here are the words you're probably going to do. And then we have so many. And then you could change the bundles of how much you want to do. We're going to do 5 for now. Uyamau. This means respect, so we're gonna click that. Cool, got it. Zonjiru? Shozuru. I think it's shozuru, so you're gonna type it. So the cool thing about, yes.
彼の声明は疑惑を生ずるであろう。
彼の声明は疑惑を生ずるであろう. So you're supposed to actually shadow it, so you can actually, oh god. You're supposed to shadow it so that you can actually read it and like learn to speak. But I'm lazy. Engrave, carve. Let's see here. Oh, this one. Horu.
彼は木の像を彫ったの。
彼は木の像を彫ったの. He carved a wooden statue. Remember, guys, shadowing and repeating is hella important. I still remember some of these sentences from year 1 that I've been in Japan because of this application. So let's go to the next one. Negi. Right here. And you can just burst through this. I'm gonna skip that for now. Clothing, food, and housing. I forgot how it goes. So we're gonna use the hint. And we have a time limit. Oh my god. Shokuju. Oh!
土地によって衣食住は変化する。
Yes. Okay. Got it. So now we can see that it actually moved up here and how much I actually know it. So it's actually going to come back in like 30 minutes and I'm going to have to study it again. Repetition, guys. Repetition. So the other part of this I Know app you could also use, which I don't really use, you could do a rapid choice, which is just like super simple, fast quizzes that you can get your stuff done, but they reset really quickly, so there's really no point. Burst out laughing. I fucked up. Damn it. Hold a grudge. Okay, you could also use a keyboard. Dotto. Burst out laughing. Press up. There we go. Toan. Okay. Keito. Okay. Keikaku. Not very much. Taishite.
違いない。
違いない. Without a doubt. Electric wire. Densen. Haisan. Got it. Dotto. Okay. So it's really cool, but you can see it didn't really progress my stuff. So it's kind of not that. I would recommend just using the I Know app. You could also do a self-check, so you can check your own things. You can also do a sentence trainer. I don't really use this that much, but look.
昨日手紙を受け取りました。
Okay. 手紙を受け取りました. Okay. I discarded all my clothes. The one thing I like about this app is that it teaches you Japanese with all like in different ways. So not just memorizing in one way, but pulling in different ways. So it's using the same kind of philosophy that Wanikani tries to do by making you do the spelling, making you do the reading, making you do listening, making you do other things in speaking. So it's a really, really, really comprehensive app. So I discarded all my clothes. Watashi wa 全部私は洋服を全部捨てました。全部here we go. 古い。Hold on. 私は全部捨てました。全部古い洋服を全部捨てました。Oh, I got it! Oh, okay, we got it. Okay. But anyway, that's pretty much the app, and obviously you'll do all that like that. But anyway, I don't really know what we're going to end up doing with this series, but I wanted to get it started. And I think it's going to be a great way for me and other people who are struggling with learning Japanese or relearning Japanese because we just haven't been using it. And in quarantine and stuff like that, you're not talking to anybody and you want to get that job. You want to get that N2 job because Japan only values you if you have an N2. So, but anyway, guys, give me some feedback in the comment section down below. Things you could improve, things you could do. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not trying to do super high edits because the more work that it requires me to do, the less likely I'm going to make it. So we're going to keep it live off the cuff, and I'm going to try and think of a format. We could probably go through the grammar book. I'm probably just going to go through the grammar book and then use some of the apps and do a little bit of some random study at the end of the session. And I don't know how long it'll be, but basically we'll go through the grammar book, kind of relearn it, maybe write a few of the kanji out or something like that, start from zero. But I just wanted to kind of introduce these tools to you guys that you can use to get started on Japanese or relearn your Japanese and rebuff it up. I don't know if we're actually going to be using them the entire time, but I do know we're going to be using the Take Him guide and trying to learn some kanji and stuff like that too moving forward. But anyway, guys, that's all I got to say for you today on the channel. Mayday-san, back at it again with some content. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.